I think it was probably better than expected to start with, and kind of a disappointing finish, I would say.
Average. I think Unai Emery's come in and done quite a good job, especially around Europe, which he specialises in. But league-wise, not so great. I think it would have been pretty similar if Wenger was still in charge. But you know, we've got to be optimistic, and I think next season, I think that optimism might show. So, yeah. What do you think?
They've done well in the Europa League, but I say they can improve in the Premier League.
Probably not a bad season. Emery's first season in charge. If we win the European Cup, it'll be a brilliant season. I think we need to change a few players in the summer, and I'm sure hoping the club backs them and gives them the money to buy them players.
It's been very good. When you consider where the club was, there was change needed. Unai Emery has come in a difficult situation. The season's been up and down. He has made some mistakes, but it's a learning experience. You can't get every decision right. So, considering where the club sits, it has been a good season. When you look at it before a ball was kicked, this is a good season. It's unfortunate that we've had a bad week when we've lost 3 games in a week, but if things go our way, we can still make the top 4, and hopefully we win the Europa League.
Arsenal this season, we've got to remember, innit, new managers come in, it wasn't going to happen overnight, innit? We had 22 years of Wenger. He's done a good job, I reckon, but this is the question I want to ask Arsenal supporters, yeah? Why do we play so good here, but we can't play away? This is the only thing I don't understand. Like, our last 2 games have been away from home and we've lost them both. But anyway, hey, we still got a Europa League to look forward to, innit?
So they didn't start off too good. They went on a 22-run unbeaten run, which was really good. And they stuttered a bit, but they found their form a little bit more now. Recently, I went to the game against Valencia.
Aaron Ramsey's done really well in centre mid, but I think I want to say Aubameyang. He's been my favourite.
Yeah, I think Aubameyang's done well, Lacazette's done well. I think the forward pairings have done well. I think Koscielny's done well when he's actually been involved. But yeah, I think there's a lot of changes that are needing to be made, so it's quite a tough question for this season. But I think we'll miss Aaron Ramsey, unfortunately. So.
This season, I think Lacazette was probably the best player. Socrates has done a good job at the back, but I think Lacazette deserves it. His walk rate on the pitch is unbelievable. Looks the top player. I think he got Player of the Year, so the rest of the players voted him. I agree with them. He was a good player.
I'd probably go with Lacazette. Always working hard, scoring goals, always involved. Yes, he's had some poor games. Been impressed with some others, you know, like Ramsey's been very good. Again, you know, he's had injury, and of course we're missing him at the end. I like some of the others. Leno, the goalkeeper now, he's making some really good saves. And Lucas Torreira, you know, he had a really great start to the season. He's plateaued a little bit, but he had a heavy World Cup. He's young again, so still have high hopes for him moving up a few levels.
The best player of this season, see, I've had it as a toss-up between Laka and Uba, innit? Like, we know how great these two are, innit? But personally, this is my opinion, and this is my opinion. I would have gave it to Aubameyang myself personally, but Lacazette, yeah, he deserves it. You know what I mean? Laka, yeah, he's done well, innit? He's done well, so. I want to see that celebration today, that one he does there. I love that celebration, like, do you know what I mean? Oh, and if Aubameyang does get one today, I want to see the mask come out as well, you know what I mean? And that little oi, like.
I would say Lacazette is a real trier. He's a really high-class performer. He tries all the time. When he loses a ball, he runs back and tries and gets it. Some of the players are a little bit lacklustre, but Lacazette, I think, has been our best player this season.
Where do I start? There's a few players I think are struggling in the squad at the minute. I believe Ozil is struggling slightly in away matches. Does well here, but away games he's struggling. We need to improve the defence a bit. I think we're a bit letting in too many goals, especially away games. But I wouldn't say there was anyone really that bad. Probably the first season getting used to the new manager. It's always going to be difficult the first season. When Alex Ferguson left United, they done really bad the first season. We've done better, so hopefully next season will be a big difference.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I don't know, I wouldn't say there's a worse player. I think Guendouzi's been relied on a bit too much, but I think his age, you know, it's not about him being the worst player. I just think there's more development in him, and maybe Iwobi as well. So Iwobi, it's that finishing touch more than anything else. So I wouldn't say they've been the worst players, but I think they're the ones that need to be worked on a little bit more. What about you?
Yeah, as you said, Guendouzi. He could work on his tackling a little bit, like stop getting red cards.
Okay, yeah, that red cards. Yeah.
I think they're all great.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to say who is the worst, but someone who can still improve a lot is Iwobi. He had a good, initially he started well this season and he seems to have plateaued a bit, but a lot of the young players, I was very impressed with Holding, and then he got injured. I think there's a lot more to come from him. Bellerin was having a good season and he got injured. So you know, those younger players, that's where I'm looking for improvement. Of the senior players, you know, Mustafi can have really good games, but when he makes an error, it's drastic. And there's one or two others I'd put in that category as well. And to me, it doesn't matter how good a player is. You want a player hitting 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 consistently. You don't want 9s out of 10s and then followed by a 5 out of 10, because that inconsistency is going to kill you. And from a manager point of view for Unai Emery, when a player makes an error, if he does that, if that's in his locker a lot, if you're not coaching that out, the player's going to keep making a mistake, and that's when you have to look at it on the basis then you've got to look at replacing someone. So
I think the worst player this season has been, I hate to say it, but El Neni. Because I don't know, like, that guy is, excuse my French here, he is so shit, man. I swear, like, you know what I mean? And we've got worse defenders there as well, like, you know what I mean? Jacko's another one. You know what I mean? Jacko's another one we should sell. Mustafi. I think, yeah, once we sort that defence out, and I reckon we might be contenders again for the league, innit? I'm not getting carried away, but let's just see what happens in it. Let's get that Europa League, because I think that's our only realistic way of getting into the Champions League.
The worst player of this season, I would say Xhaka. Hasn't done that well. He needs to really sort of be a little bit more aware in the surroundings of the game. Sometimes he loses a ball and doesn't run back to really try and get it back very quickly. But I think there's room for improvement for Xhaka. We'll see what happens next season anyway with him.